Okay, welcome back to our next lesson, grade 7 algebra. There's a puzzle there you can have a go at. Let's move on. What are we doing? Patterns and rules. You can see where we're up to in our work rate calendar. Don't forget, there's a test coming up. All right, I'll talk to you about this one in class, about how we actually complete that. All right, let's have a look at what we're doing. Patterns and how we relate that to algebra. So here's a matchstick pattern of triangles. All right, what we want to do is complete this table of values here, all right, based on that. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. In here, I've got one triangle, but I've got 3 matches. I've got 2 triangles. How many matches have I got? You can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. All right, here's how we work it out. So we draw the table that we've got here, and we fill in the numbers and count them and keep adding more matches on like we've done down here, and you count them. It's an extra 3 matches, what we notice, each time we put a triangle on. So for every triangle we're adding 3 matches, and that's kind of the key to what we're doing here. What's the pattern and how's it changing? So we identify, if we look at our little thinking bit here, we identify the number of matches that's being added each time to make a new shape. It's 3. This is added on every time. Okay, so basically what we're doing, what we have is the number of matches used is 3 times the number of triangles. And that's what we've sort of written there, said it in words there, and this is how we write the formula out, or the equation. Remember, it's an equation because it's got an equal sign. All right, you start with your little pattern, you fill in your table and work out what is changing every time. Every time I add on one of these, I add on 3 more. 1 more triangle, 3 more matches, and so on. So it must be the number of triangles times 3, because each triangle is 3 matches. All right, so use your rule to find the number of matches required to make 100 triangles. So we're back to our substitution. The number of triangles is 100. So what we do is we could write out our formula, m equals 3t, m equals 100, 3 times 100, 300. And a nice little sentence at the end here finishes it off. 300 matches are needed to make 100 triangles. And that's the idea of what we're doing today. So we're looking for a pattern, look for a number that's being added or subtracted every time, and this tells us what we're multiplying by. Let's look at the fence one. So we've got a fence like here. Here's one panel of fence, has 5 pieces. In the next one, we've got 2 panels, and we've got 9 pieces. What we added on was 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. At another section, we added another 4 pieces on. There's the pattern that we're starting to form. So what do? Fill in our table that we've got here, and that's the table that came from up here. Copy in your books, fill in all these numbers down in this other row here. Look for what's changing every time you add on more and more panels of fence. 4 pieces are being added to make a new section. So every new section is 4 times the number of fence panels. Now, there's a slight difference there. What we're actually doing is the formula is actually 4f plus 1, because our first fence panel was that upright, 3 horizontals and an upright. To add the next panel on, we only added on another 4 sections. 4 more fence palings, or whatever we call them. All right, there still was this original extra piece that we added on. And when you look at the table on the previous slide, that's what you start to discover. 4f, 4 times the number of fence panels we have, plus that original one, which is this guy here. So our formula, 4f plus 1. These questions can seem challenging at first, and they will take some practice to get it right. But once you've got your formula, your equation, it's straightforward after that. Righto, 50 panels is what we need. That's what it says down here in the question, 50 sections. So f is 50, 4 times 50 plus 1 gets substituted in. 201. 201 pieces of timber is what we need. Okay, that bit, this second bit here is just substitution like yesterday's lesson. All right, have a go. Do our core exercises. and see how you go. I do encourage you, make sure you can do some of the earlier ones, but don't just leave it at that. As you get to some of the later ones, they're more B and A level questions. Make sure you have a go at those if that's the kind of rating you'd like to end up with.